The world is on fire. Where do you want to hide? The world is always on fire. And sometimes the fire is very bright. And soon the fire will be very bright. So, how is your grandfather? How is your father doing? Our grandfathers are a good role model. We live in a strange time where we only focus on self-glorification. We think it's only me. I am the most important. I can determine whatever I want. But let's go back in time. 100 years ago, my grandfather or my great-grandfather, they were living a very tough life. "100 years ago, when we meditate, we re-examine time and space. So I found a very important message, a call to repentance and renewal. The insatiable struggle and pursuit of sensual pleasure, and that life turned away from God. All the holy and wise ones always told us to return to God, to return to our true self, our true nature. But nevertheless, the dear God, as a helper in all salvific plans, will also give our beginning a happy progress. It has Him and His honor as its purpose. For what is our thinking? What is our intention? But really only one thing. We want to bring eternal happiness to everyone, as far as our strength allows, and therefore try those means to heal the soul damage that all the holy and wise ones entrusted to us. Nowadays it's all about what I think, what I want, what I need is important. But when you re-examine very closely, you see there is order. The will of your Father is like a law, a universal law. Whatever you do, it depends on this. And that seems to be required of us, not only by our apostolic office, but also by the current situation. This is not to say, however, that the years were poor in glorious deeds and glorious works. No, on the contrary, brightly shining examples of virtue thrive under God's protection. And one hardly finds any exercise of virtue so difficult and noble that a large number have not distinguished themselves in it. Our religion possesses that inexhaustible, indestructible, heavenly power to constantly produce and increase virtues. But looking a little further, and turning especially to the dark side of the picture, what darkness, what aberration, what countless multitudes of unfortunates running towards eternal ruin. In particular, we are gripped by the deepest pain when we think of the large numbers who, seduced by the devilish of their thoughts and feelings, greedily devour the poison of false teachings and thus corrupt and destroy the priceless good of divine faith within themselves. That's where the weariness with religion life comes from, and that rampant immorality, that insatiable striving and chasing after sensual pleasure, and that people thinking and concerns that turn away from God and only focus on earthly things. Words can scarcely express the magnitude of the ruin which, coming from such a filthy source, has had a devastating effect on the foundations of states. For that widespread spirit of rebelliousness, that tumult of passions in the lower classes, the menacing dangers, the dreadful crimes. All of this is got to the bottom of the matter, nothing other than the irrepressible competition for the possession and enjoyment of the vain earthly goods. A fight that does not care about any laws. And it is precisely this return to God as all hermits, saints, and sages in East and West proclaimed. It was already so bleak around 100 years ago. How is it today? Everything has intensified and worsened again. Our fatherless society, which only celebrates unbridled passion, is already taken for granted. Immorality and untruth are regarded as the highest value. An inverted world where the children command the parents. But we have to uncover our wounds, but only to heal them. We turned away from the light of eternal truth in so many points, and has been chasing false science of modern times. But what do you mean by returning to God? So difficult times are awaiting us. But the world is always burning. So we have to go back to re-examine very carefully our very own original face. What about virtues? I would say to become a virtuous father and a virtuous mother is a very good start. Thank you very much.